The top story, the victory of Adwa, said to have laid a solid foundation for multinational unity. And Pan-Africanist says the victory of Adwa is a victory over racism. Greetings, dear viewers, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to EBC World with me, Shfarao Lako, and do stay with us. Now, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has extended his greetings on the eve of the 128th anniversary of the victory of Adwa. It has been 128 years since our foremothers and forefathers bequeathed to us the grand victory of Adwa. But we have yet to leverage the values we have received from the victory, the Prime Minister underscored in his congratulatory message. The victory of Adwa is a phenomenon that has demonstrated the fact that Ethiopia has been identified as a country with multinational unity among its people, the Prime Minister said. Ethiopians from all ethnic backgrounds, drawn from all corners of the country, marched to the Battle of Adwa. This shows how the victory of Adwa has cemented multinational unity in the country, the Prime Minister said. We celebrate this year's Adwa Victory Day, the day after we have built a memorial at a place where the expedition to the battle started from, in a way that fits for the glory of the values of the victory. This adds glory and respect to the celebration of the Victory Day, the Prime Minister has said. Moving on, Adwa puts a big responsibility on Ethiopia to ensure that the legacy of Adwa is kept, that Ethiopia is always among the lead countries for the development, for the security, and for everything of Africa, because we look up to them. The former AU Commission Chair Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma told the Ethiopian news agency. She added that Africans are very proud to celebrate the victory of Adwa as it is an African legacy. According to her, forebearers of Africa had understood that unity has more power than individuals going alone. Our forebearers understood that individually we were very weak. We cannot take the continent forward, but together we are very strong. And if we stick together and understand that an African in any part of the continent is your brother, is your sister, then we will go forward. Pan-Africanism is very important, she said. The former AU Commission chairperson further stressed that African countries should teach African history properly in every school in order to strengthen Pan-Africanism. Still staying on the victory of Adwa, the son of the renowned Pan-Africanist Marcus Garvey, Julius Garvey, described the victory of Adwa against the Italian invaders in 1896 as a seminal triumph in global black history. Every year on March 2, the victory of Adwa is marked in remembrance of the Ethiopians who defeated the Italian colonizers 128 years ago with unwavering and splendid courage for the independence and liberty of Ethiopia and all oppressed nations across the globe. The victory was widely reported around the globe as the continent's first ever triumph over a colonial power that ignited the spirit of Pan-Africanism. Marcus Garvey was an outspoken proponent of the black nationalism and Pan-Africanism movements, to which end he founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. Julius Garvey said the victory of Adwa pertains special place in the history of global blacks.
You don't know your future. So this Adwa is going to change the next generation to look at the unity is our strength.
All the struggle that the Africans and people that were oppressed were doing against Europeans were consolidated around the Adwa victory. It humiliated Italy, obviously. In fact, the Prime Minister of Italy that time was Francisco Crispi, I think that's the name, he has to resign.
We needed a unifying force, and nothing more than Adwa, as I've sung 25 years ago, nothing more than Adwa that will unify Ethiopia and black people around the world. So that makes it unique.
So that actually galvanized all the people of Africa, all the people of the Caribbean in their fight against colonial domination. So you cannot underestimate the victory of Adwa.
We have to take the lesson from what our fathers do for the country. So this generation has to think twice what we have to do for our country as well.
Welcome back. You're still watching EBC World. Now moving on, the Adwa Victory Day is being celebrated in the capital Addis Ababa colorfully at the newly built Adwa Victory Memorial. Themed Adwa is a pride for all black people. In his remarks at the 128th Adwa Victory Day, President of the Ancient Ethiopian Patriots Association, Lij Daniel Jote Mesfin, underlined that the victory of Adwa is a symbol of anti-colonial struggle that depicts national unity and cohesion in pursuit of common just goals. According to Mesfin, on the first day of March 128 years ago, traditional warriors, farmers, and pastoralists, as well as women, routed the well-armed Italian army, making it the only African country to have never been colonized. Have a listen to this.
While the Europeans were pursuing the scramble for Africa, the gallant Ethiopians led by Emperor Minilik defiantly stood in their way. Despite being outnumbered and fighting with ill-prepared, rudimentary force, Ethiopians put an end to the Italy's colonialist aggression.
The president further underscored that Adwa still stands as a witness to what ordinary Africans can do when they come together. They are able to score a decisive victory against global colonialist forces. Listen to this.
The victory of Adwa is the victory of all black people and will always remain a beacon of black freedom. And if we stick together and understand that an Afghan in any part of the continent is your brother, is your sister, then we will go forward. Pan-Afghanism is very important. It doesn't matter where you live, be it US or Australia.
And finally, the victory of Adwa was not simply to defeat Italy in military operation. Rather, Adwa is a victory over racism. The remark came in an exclusive interview with Mama Desta Meku, the Jamaican-born Pan-Africanist. Mama Desta also says the stunning victory depicted the defiance and pride of Ethiopians, an attitude which was inherited by the national liberation movements in Africa in their struggle against colonialism. And Jerusalem Bisia has more on that.
In 1896, fascist Italians were eyeing Ethiopia, having designed tricky plans to colonize the country, while other European countries had already scrambled the rest of Africa. However, Ethiopia had successfully defended its independence with love of land.
Love of country, love of land, love of culture, and not being willing to compromise that and give that away in any way, shape, or form. That was the motivation of the people, to protect the sovereignty. So indeed, it is love of land and love at the core of our mission to be able to protect the sovereignty.
Mama Desta added Adwa as a manifestation of equality among human beings. That's why the victory of Adwa as such Ethiopians became a beacon of hope for other African countries that were under colonial occupation.
When it happened here in Ethiopia, a country that had already been a beacon of light for black people around the world, the news just reaffirmed what the possibilities are for all black people to end colonialism on the continent and to free the shackles of slavery and other forms of discrimination throughout the African diaspora, also known as the Sixth Region.
Adwa became an inspiration among Africans to be united for Pan-Africanism movement. Therefore, Ethiopia's role was remarkable for that initiative.
The term Pan-Africanism and the notion that yes, this is something that is in our grasp. It's not just a dream or a vision, but indeed something real. This is what the Battle of Adwa did. It propelled the movement. It took it to the next stage, and the next stage was indeed the end of colonialism on the continent, because within 60 years of the victory of Adwa, we now have the formation of the Organization of African Union right here again in Addis Ababa, where at least 32 countries were the original signatories of the 55 that we now have. So it really was significant, and Ethiopia continues to be the center post. If you look at the flags of every African nation, they somehow will have either the red, the gold, or the green. So we took our cues and continue to take our cues from Ethiopia.
The victory of Adwa as an African victory, all Africans should transcend the history of Adwa through art for the generations to come.
If we can use the arts as a way to share the story, share the narrative from generation to generation, we help ensure that the names, Empress Taitu, Emperor Menelik, Lemabuya, all the people that were involved from all over Africa, from all over Ethiopia rather, that they continue to sustain the message, because it's not just now oral history being passed on, but we have imagery, we have songs, we have poems, we have stories that can tell the story for lifelong generations to come.
Currently, Ethiopia and Ethiopians have commemorated the 108th Adwa victory through symbolizing Adwa as a national pride, freedom to Africans and the black people around the globe.
Well, dear viewers, you have been watching ABC World. Now a quick recap of the top stories. The victory of Adwa said to have laid a solid foundation for multinational unity. And Pan-Africanist says the victory of Adwa is a victory over racism. Well, dear viewers, that's all the news there is for now. Thanks a lot for watching us. Bye-bye.